Welcome to another episode of Mojave River Valley News. I'm your host, Eric Swanson, and what we're doing today, we're doing campaign interviews. These are folks in the Mojave River Valley that are running for office here. We got some great ones that are coming up here. Stay with us, we'll be right back with you in just a moment. In a moment, we're going to be sitting down with Miguel Soto. Now, Miguel is running for the Adelanto City Council, and it'll be very interesting to hear what his take is of where he sees the council's not going today, or to see the cities which way it might be going. So I think it'll be exciting to hear from him to say, all right, what kind of things that he thinks need to go, no matter if it's direction or ordinances or whatever it might be. Hey, you know what? We'll be right back with you in a few moments, sitting down with Miguel Soto. We'll be right back. I am here with Miguel Soto. And Miguel, you're running for Adelanto City Council.
That's right.
So take a few seconds and tell the folks who you are.
My name is Miguel Soto. I'm a community organizer and I currently serve as your planning commissioner. The reason why I'm running is for four equally important reasons. The first one, we need to turn the page on corruption and make sure we pass the most comprehensive legislation in the entire state of California. Number two, we need to focus on public safety. Number three, our budget, transition to a zero-based budget. And number four, we need to focus on mental health. This November 8th, we can risk electing another self-serving politician, or what I call a do-nothing politician, or we can elect someone who has the solutions of our community. This November 8th, don't forget to vote for Soto.
Well, you just want to throw it right out there. I was going to let you do that later with your pitch, but that's okay.
Definitely,
so
yeah.
Let's talk about, because really what you're walking into here is, the planning commission, that's seeing things from the outside, kind of the different layers of the onion. Mm-hmm. You're walking into a multi-million-dollar organization where now you are one of, 4 votes with the council, and of course you have the mayor too. Mm-hmm. Where do you feel that you can fit into this world and actually make this happen? Because really when you're walking in there, no matter what you want to do, you still got to be able to count to 3. Absolutely.
When we get elected, it doesn't matter about our political beliefs. Part of the job is working with those you disagree with. So that's what, when I become elected this November 8th, mm-hmm. I'll work with the mayor and whoever is elected as council.
So let's talk about the skills that you bring forward. Let's talk about that real quick here, because you are, a lot of people are going to say, well, look, he's young. It's like, what does he bring to the table? What do you bring to the table for skill sets?
Definitely. Well, I'm a graduate in Adelanto. I graduated 2 years early. So with that experience, I was able to mature and grow quite quickly. Mm-hmm. I was also a volunteer for the Sheriff's Department for about 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. That's where I got all my professionalism, how we present, how we communicate to the public. All of that was through my experience. I have 3 years in the management experience, as well as nonprofit work and working in the sector of nonprofits.
Now, so you did talk about a little bit more. You dove right in. He wanted to tell everybody about what he was thinking. His 4 points, I believe it was. And so let's come through here. Let's talk about, because sometimes you'll find when you get on an elected seat, the passion is there. You're saying, well, you know what, we really need to do this. But now you got to figure out how to work with the council. So let's talk about, the goals you have and actually working with the rest of the council. What do you feel that, because you did mention a moment ago, sometimes you're going to be working with people that you may disagree with. Mm-hmm. What are you feeling with that?
That's part of the job. Part of politics, part of government is having to work with people you disagree with. I want to make sure that when we become elected, that people understand that it's the job of serving the community and being able to compromise on whatever we can compromise. We have to have strong values and we have to be able to defend those strong values, at the same time find middle ground where we can.
Let's go ahead and talk about, real quick if we can, about what we're seeing, because Sacramento is constantly putting pressure on the communities to expand affordable housing and so forth. Where do you feel that you either add to it, or where you feel that Adelanto needs to go with the affordable housing?
That's a really good question. As a planning commissioner, I've been very vocal and involved of inclusionary housing, asking and putting pressure on making sure that we have that in the city. We need affordable housing if we want to keep people off the streets. It's better, more fiscally responsible to make sure that we house those before they can be unhoused, before they're already housed. It will cost more to house those who are homeless. So we need to house those before they do become homeless.
So what you're walking into a world today, for example, the inflation, property values are going like crazy as far as the cost of a home, let's say, but the affordability is getting tighter. How do you feel that those gaps can actually be pulled closer together?
Well, we need to work with the developers. First of all, one of the biggest concerns as a planning commissioner, as a candidate we hear, is why developers, why investors don't want to come into our city and invest. Mm-hmm. We're not politically ready. 100% we're not politically ready. So it starts at the top. We need a strong government, but a limited government. And that's not what we have right now.
Let's go into a whole different track here, because one of the things that I look at here is that you can have a wish list that's a mile long, right? Mm-hmm. But one of the things you need to have is money. If you don't have money to do this. Now you guys sit on two major corridors. I think the freeway corridor is probably within your lifetime, maybe not mine. We'll see what happens with that. But how do you feel, because those are what are known generally as transient dollars, that you can actually bring to the council ways of capturing more of those? Mm-hmm.
So what are you asking me?
So for example, you have 395 and you have Highway 18. Mm-hmm. What is it the city or you feel you can bring to the table to help you capture more of those transient dollars?
Perfect, makes sense. So MOU, the city of Adelanto has an MOU on the 395. Caltrans is preventing us from developing on the 395. Like you're saying, that's a corridor, that's a gold mine for Adelanto. So we want to develop on the 395, but we need to put political and public pressure on Caltrans to remove that MOU.
So Highway 18 is the other one, okay? Mm-hmm. So, that's the other crossroads that comes through, because, a lot of folks you have a lot of people that are going through town. While they're going through town, they're burdening your community, and hopefully you can capture some of the dollars here. So what do you think about Highway 18?
Definitely that's a spot we can invest, but we've been keeping our eye on 395 because that's where the big issue is that MOU. Highway 18 is another thing we can look at, but right now I'm focused on the 395.
Okay, where do you see, now you were talking about one of the things, and I just want to take a few moments here, you were talking about corruption, trying to figure out how to expose or to just put more light on it. Can you touch on that real quick with what you meant on that?
One of the biggest responsibilities of a council person is to pass policy and legislation to move the city forward. That's what my campaign has introduced, policy and legislation called the Adelanto Anti-Corruption Act. You can go to votesoto.com for more information. That's our first draft.
So take the next 20 seconds and you've already did a big pitch already.
Right.
Do your pitch.
Absolutely. Well, this November 8th, I believe it's time for fresh blood and new perspectives. Where were all the candidates 1 year ago? All of a sudden, they become interested in our community after filing paperwork. We need someone who's participated in the city council meetings for over a year. I understand and know the issues of our community. This November 8th, don't forget, vote for Soto.
Very good. Thank you very much for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
Well, we're back in the studio. We just got through interviewing Miguel Soto. He's running for the Adelanto City Council. So I just want to shout this out. Without the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce partnering with Mojave River Valley News, this would be tough. Mark Craffield, you're doing an amazing job on this. We're trying to bring you as many candidates as we can. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please subscribe, ring the little bell, so when you put out another video, you get notified. On behalf of myself and the Chamber of Commerce, we'll see you next time.
Is having to work with people you disagree with. I want to make